So you want to make changes. You know who the stakeholders are that are going to be impacted. You know how you want to do it, which methodology you want to use. You know which area of the business you want to make changes in. But you need to make sure that there is a plan in place. If you don't plan, you are going to get into big trouble. You can't just go with your gut. You need to put certain processes in place to protect yourself, as a leader of change, and to protect the organization. So, one of the big things is to phase your plan. So, have phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four. It's the how sections. So you're going to break it into certain sections. Once you get to section one, then you know, okay, we've achieved this. Let's move on to section two. It helps you to control the process. It helps you to make sure that you're on the right track. It allows you to work out if there's resistance and how you are able to then deal with that. Then we need to look at the actions. What actually has to be done? What are the tasks that need to be motioned in order for us to achieve what we need to achieve? Then obviously there needs to be time frames. So when do we meet? Is it on a weekly basis at every phase, on a monthly basis? Then when do we need to achieve certain goals? So we need to have time frames built into our plan. We also need to make sure that there's constant communication with the stakeholders. So we spoke about that presentation that we would have to do and who we would then invite. We need to constantly be bringing them into the discussion, saying, how are you finding the change? Are there any things we need to be aware of? What do you see that we cannot see? So when you communicate with the stakeholders, they feel included and they will give you feedback. Then what are the desired outcomes? So what do we actually want to see throughout the change process? We need to say, okay, so in a best case scenario, these are the things that we will see based on what our plan is. Then what are the anticipated obstacles? So what are those things that are going to be difficult? Where is there going to be resistance? Where is there going to be pushback? And we need to be aware of them and have a plan to overcome them. Then, what are the expected positive and negative responses? So, who will be the negative and who will be the positive, and what will they say? So, we need to sometimes go through all the stakeholders and all those who will be affected and be aware of what the reactions are going to be. And sometimes we can actually then start to communicate about what we think they're actually going to say, and that sometimes calms the nerves and allows them to buy into our process rather than push against our process. And then we obviously need plans to overcome obstacles and negative responses. We look at all of the resistance, we look at the negative, we look at those who are constantly pushing against us. They're never looking for solutions, they're always looking at the problems. But now's your opportunity to already start to push things in place so that they won't win and that your change plan will be successful. So look at your plans to overcome the obstacles and the negative responses. So if we can put all of those things in place and we plan well, then there's no reason that our change will not occur. Now, what I would want you to do is please go to page 33 in section number 4. Okay, so page 33 in section 4, and you're going to read about successful change managers. Okay, so there are certain leaders that really do well when it uh, comes to leadership, leading change. And so take a look on page 33. And it says there the role of a change leader and what a change leader does, and the characteristics of an effective change leader. So that's on section 4, page 33. Please make sure that you read that. And once you've read that, then I want you as a team or as a group, or even if you don't have a group as an individual, to please do your value test on page 34. So to read and to fill in your value test, well, that will probably take you about 12 minutes. So set your timers for 12 minutes, do as much as you can in that time, and then come back to the next video.